interesting. And then you had moments that were like, damn, I can make something interesting. Like this. And like, I had different ones for each of those. I mean, I listened to a lot of Missy Elliott growing up. I listened to like,
serious?
Yeah, it was the popular stuff like rap wise. Missy, Luda, 50, like whatever it was, singles. I think like we mostly operated on like a singles type basis back in the day. People who were like older than us, maybe they might have the album, but like it wasn't really something that we would come across. So I come across like the singles and like indulge in those. And then like when I got curious enough, like I remember the first album we got, my sister and I. My sister was primarily the spearhead for this one, my younger sister. She got the Missy Elliott Under Construction album. And like that was one of those things where we were like, okay, the flows, the beat choices, like we weren't listening to it technically like that, but like I was absorbing parts of that on that kind of level.
Hey, yo, what's poppin'? It's DAYGENIUS. You know what time it is. Welcome to the DAYGENIUS Podcast. And today, I got the amazing BarelyAnyHook. His name is weird. He's the only rapper that got that type of name. Okay, it's one word.
It's one word as well, too. People always mistake that thing. They'll split my name into like 3 words. Like I planned it that way. I know. I can hear it myself. It's 3 words. I know. I know the confusion.
I'm sure a lot of people call you Bear or something.
Barely is the one that everybody has gone with. I don't even know if I fully accepted it, but like I've worked my way into like working with it in funny ways. Plus it helps in writing sometimes. So like, I'm like,
don't worry, if you do battle rap anytime, they're gonna call you a beer and do many beer flips.
I have 50.
Put a beer in the disc. Put a beer.
Are you kidding me? I came up with the name. You think I didn't plan for this shit?
So you already got rebuttals.
Rebuttals and like just preemptive shit. It's just like you have to preempt some nigga shit beforehand.
So I want to ask, because I've heard you rap, I've heard you like kind of sing rap. I know you got a crazy voice. Why rap? Why not sing? Why not Afrobeat? Why not trying to be a pop star? Why rap?
Me doing Afrobeats you would hear every time you hear a song that like was purely Afrobeats, like just like straight up on some like Davido type shit, like you will hear a journey in my voice that this doesn't sound like right. It just doesn't, there's something like a little off about the journey. The way I mix in Afrobeat is through its elements, It's a lot of what I do, mostly what I do. I make food as well too, so it's like I'm always dealing with like elements.
Wait, you make what?
Food.
You cook?
Yeah.
You're a chef?
Yeah.
Is that like your 9 to 5 or that is what you
Pretty
do?
much, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah, I mean, music is paying what it does, but does it really? I mean, like, it's like...
Yeah, that was the question I was about to get to, because most people, they see rappers looking fly. Like, this guy a Yahoo boy, man, or he's selling drugs or something. But people don't know, like, most rappers already have, like, what they do.
Look at me. So you don't get it confused. Like,
he has high, so you put the eyes for house.
I don't start.
So what made you start doing music? Like, what rappers were you listening to that made you like, I can do this shit?
Man, I don't know God, I have like there are like pivotal moments in like the overall journey. It's just too far into things closer to me. Okay. There were pivotal moments in like the overall journey, right? There were just like, you have like stuff that you listened to like while you were early. You have stuff that like made you feel like, damn, this thing is really something interesting. Oh, my bad. Okay. That made you feel like, damn, this thing is really something interesting. And then you had moments that were like, damn, I can make something interesting. Like this. And like, I had different ones for each of those. I mean, I listened to a lot of Missy Elliott growing up. I listened to like...
serious?
Yeah, it was the popular stuff like rap-wise. Missy, Luda, 50, like whatever it was, singles. I think like we mostly operated on like a singles type basis back in the day. People who were like older than us, maybe they might have the album, but like it wasn't really something that we would come across. So I come across like the singles and like indulge in those. And then like when I got curious enough, like I remember the first album we got, my sister and I. My sister was primarily the spearhead for this one, my younger sister. She got the Missy Elliott Under Construction album. And like that was one of those things where we were like, okay, the flows, the beat choices, like we weren't listening to it technically like that, but like I was absorbing parts of that on that kind of level. And then like I remember I always recount this story. Like I had one wild it was like a windy ass night in while I was in school, like in outside the country for a little bit. And I was laying on my bed. I had gotten like a message from a friend from high school. I left high school. She shot me like she was saying me like, yo, there's this guy that like Jay-Z just signed to Rock Nation, like blah blah blah. Oh. I'm like, okay, cool. I hadn't even, honestly, up until that point, I hadn't even really invested too much in Jay-Z, like as like a rapper. I listened to a lot of other stuff, but like my Jay-Z knowledge was so. But like I knew who he was, obviously his Hove. So like at that point in time, she hit me, she sent me like a link for something. I downloaded it, put it on the iPod that I had at that time. I moved out. I went into the crib, came back. It was nighttime. It was windy. It was like cold outside type, just like a chill, windy night. Guy, I locked in underneath my like blanket, put in my earphones, and bumped Friday Night Lights. And like from the first chord, like that intro flowing into the first song, I was just like, okay, all right, okay. Okay, maybe, and like to actually meet Cole at some point in time, like here was kind of wild. You met Cole? Yeah,
when he came to Nigeria.
Yeah, when he came to Nigeria. The Castle
Light event. I was there, so that was like one of my best shows ever. The show was boring until J. Cole came in, though.
I didn't see most of the show. I was just waiting backstage. I was like, I have my pass, like, bro, it is what it is. You know, it was on that kind of tip. It was a very, like, shout out to everybody who signed a shirt at that point in time. That's what I did. I took a t-shirt around. I was like, okay, cool. If you have a message to give to J. Cole, like, just like, I'm taking something to sign, just sign it, blah, blah, blah. I think it's something that like, I think the people outside obviously who've done it before and like the people who are doing it now is like a big thing. But like, I just sort of ran with the idea. I was like, okay, cool. Let me sign on the shirt and like, let's see if we can get it to him. Because after you listen to some shit like that and it changes your life and it changes your pen, it's not like you weren't writing before, but like, you know, you hear something that like shifts your entire like process and it's just like, okay, if I meet this guy, if I can but touch the hem of
his garment, like crazy.
And I was like, okay.
Like when I started like believing in you was when you did that performance, the Hennessy stuff. When it was time to like do your music
that's how long
stuff.
It took you, goddamn.
Like on the cypher with 100 counts. Yeah, he's nice. He can rap. It's not special. He can rap. He's dope. Okay. Cool. But when you did that performance and you were doing that song, mixing different songs, singing, rap, I was this guy is an alien.
The MI.
No. Like the with pedestrian, you know that NSC finals. You guys were supposed to do like a song.
Yeah,
pedestrian did something about NSAS. You came in, just mash up.
It was the MI safe
instrumental. Like you brought different. Yeah. That shit was amazing, bro. Like mind blown. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, why is this guy here?
You know, I'd always wondered why like nobody ever attempted that in a way. I mean, like,
do you drop it as a song?
No, I mean it's
you
not.
Need to do that shit as a song.
I know you see this. I know you hear this. Like, this is. I've met you. I'm here. I'm here again.
He's gonna see. He watches everything.
We need like talk to me about this song, please. I would love to talk to you about it. It's one of those things where it's just like it's cool. I'd always thought like it would be something that it's timeless in the fact that like it took what was of the time and like made it into a moment and like. I think we had like a week to come up with something. I didn't know what kind of challenge.
Well, you did actually in a week. I thought you something you had already.
Like, they told us, I had 3, we knew it was the next week, but my own day that next week was the 3rd day. So technically I had 3 days.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah. So it was like I knew the song was dope. I knew like the beat was dope. I knew the concept was dope. I was like, okay, well, what's hot right now? Let me just cook. If I throw it in my head and like let it cook and I just sort of ride it with the beat. I mean, knowing the way I do shit, like shit.
I think with what you did, I think MI needs to be doing like a safe track every 3 years. Like, you feel me?
That's what I'm saying. Like he could update that thing. He could totally.
He doesn't need to even do it. He can put in rappers like dope rappers.
You know, starting with
Save 2.0.
One guy like that.
Which guy?
One that guy. That barely any
guy. Barely any guy. So I don't want to ask. I don't know if you something you want to talk about. How did you feel about the NSC final? Were you okay with the judge's decision?
The honestly, like I was. Here's the thing, right? I came into and I don't bullshit about this thing at all. A bunch of people have talked to me about this thing. I always went into the Hennessy finals. I always went into like the Hennessy competition off of vibes. Like I was laying on my back on my bed when I thought of like just hey, I was like, yo, okay, people are rapping here now. I can rap. Let me go.
Let me go check
that was literally like that was the whole thing. So like the way it turned out that I even got that far, I really thought people were going to like eat. I swear to God.
From the beginning, you and Pedestrian were like the best in that shit.
I thought people were like eating. And like to me, I felt like a lot of people were eating. Too. Quizzy was dope. Shout out Quizzy. Shout out like I think Preacher Kings as well. I know Preacher Kings was on this one.
I don't think Preacher was on it. It's Quizzy, Foster left very early too.
Yeah,
he's not happy with the decisions. He was like, I thought this judges could understand bars. I was like, sorry, bro, no vex.
It happens, man.
It
but
happens.
like Foster has just since that time. Like I mean, you know, did that even matter at the end of it all? You know, like what he has done since that time.
Definitely.
You know, so
shout out to Foster.
Yeah, everything happens definitely for a reason. I feel like,
but that was like the best,
including that final for whatever reason people.
No, like that final was the best final ever. Like all the other NSF are like, yeah, cliche, but this one was like, it was a real final. It was a moment. Like I love it. I wish
I love it too. I feel like it writes a great story. And a very like necessary story, and like one that is, you know, that is bigger than almost music in a way, you know, like if you do something enough times and like you work at your craft and like you get better at your shit, you will go places with it. And
definitely. Do you have like an album you've worked on? Or
that
like
I've worked on, like,
what I want to ask is,
my own.
What is the Barely pack? Like if somebody wants to get on Barely, like I want to be a Barely fan. What are the 3 tracks or a project you have, or 3 songs you have on
the thing is like, so here it is, right? The thing about, and like, I'm just going to go into it as like when it concerns like BarelyAnyHook and my music that's out, or like my music releases or whatever. A lot of like I have in total, I think 3 projects,
albums,
maybe 4
or EPs.
These are like this was when like mixtapes were a thing.
Wow.
So
3?
Like, yeah, there's at least like maybe 4 to be honest. I'm counting the 22 EP. The 22 EP is like my first thing, but I don't really count it so much. It's also on SoundCloud. But like the other ones that are sort of valid are like Took You Long Enough, which is like 8 or 10 songs. There's Barely Big Enough, which is 4. And then there's a joint called Najide, which is 5 joints. And it was like, the idea is on each of those, every single one of them is like I'm testing out an idea. And that's the thing with my music, I'm always like testing out something like cool that I think might be cool, like whatever might show up. So with Barely Big Enough 2, that's meant to come out with Bigfoot. We're working on like a smorgasbord of like stuff targeted more to like ladies.
Shout out to Bigfoot, man.
Biggie's crazy. Shout out to Bigfoot. But like we're working on some stuff like tailored more to like ladies, because there are parts of the style that like really appeal that way. So like we'll just work into it and see what happens. But it's also like at the same time knowing that like if you want to look for quintessential like music, it would have to be you being curious about like the experimentation on those 3 joints. And what is the funny thing is like these are just the ones that are out, and I've been sitting on.
You sitting on crazy
like on my show or freestyle. I was like I've been sitting on 9 holdovers. Like there's a bunch of collaborative tapes that like ever since like 2020, once the lockdown happened, like some collaborative projects just like birthed themselves. Wow. Myself and a bunch of really, really talented people.
Are they outside? They're not out yet?
They're not out yet. Like, so this is part of the release project. I just really tied up a lot of things like on the official side. So I should, like, a lot of these things should be in the process of getting themselves out. And yeah, I have like a project that I've been whispering about called Rage, which is, you know, it was my on the spot like reaction to everything that happened during like the October 20th situation.
When is that gonna drop? You need to drop that October 1st, bro.
I would love to drop it in October, but like there are other things that sort of need to like make sense, I guess. There's something called Vampire. There's a joint called Vampire, which is just like it's a very slow. It's been sort of like slowly doing what it's supposed to do over time. It feels like Fetty Wap's like My Way, but like you know, in terms of like the way it's going to grow, but a little longer as it took from, you know, judging from what's happened already in past time. The time for it to like do what it's meant to do is really coming. But like if you listen to it, you understand exactly why. One of my friends told me it's on his special sex playlist, and I did not plan it that way.
His special what?
Sex playlist. I didn't plan
Your friend
that.
is wild, man.
Yeah, no, he does his thing, clearly. But like, you know, and he makes good choices in life. So like, make a good choice. Vampire is special for more than just that.
Okay, cool. So I want to ask, what are you trying to like? What are you trying to like achieve in music? Like, what are you trying to achieve with the music? Because people have different plans. Some just want to be the best. They don't care about the money, about the glitz and the lights. So what are you like? Where do you see yourself like 5 years? Like, what's the goal? What's the end game for you? Like with music?
Music has always been like, for me, like the main thing. I started this thing off always with the process of like trying to understand myself and discover myself, sort of in that vein. And like through that process, I really do feel like you find some of the greatest artists, like the ones who just by literally focusing on what it is like that they are about. It's only for me, I think the only sort of regret is I've sort of held back a lot of music from a lot of people for like a while, but in other people's processes while they released it, it was sort of, you know, their authenticity in that same sense that like shone through every single time. So they were able to just process themselves, and by so doing, find a connecting point for like everybody else who listened to it. So like you instantly just sort of become and looked at in a completely different light than like everybody else who's rhyming cat with hat. Like it's not the same thing. People don't look at, I could mention names and like greats or whatever, but like people don't always look at every single rapper the same way. There's a reason why we sort of like would group a particular bigger group with a particular more like niche or slightly less big group, you know, in other ways.
So what do you think is like the challenges hip hop or rap in general is facing? Because, you know, 10 years ago, rap was like the #1 genre in Nigeria. You feel me? If you're not a rapper, you're not a musician. So what do you think, like, what are the challenges? Because someone like you, super dope, like the voice and the music, the message, everything is crazy. Like, you're not supposed to be in Nigeria, bro. You're supposed to be like UK or America. If you were born in America, bro, you're supposed to be in Top Dog Entertainment right now. You feel me? I'm just saying, you feel me? So what do you think is like, what's pulling rappers back? Like, because it's definitely not the talent. And it's definitely not the quality of music. So what's the issue? Why are the brands, why are the labels only want songs, people shaking your ass and stuff?
I mean, I guess we have to look at like the rappers that are doing it here that, you know, that like are making an impact on what it is that maybe they are doing, and try and like look at some of those similarities. Like, and maybe like from there, just like pull things. Like, you know, Show Them Camp is a
shout out to Show Them Camp, Ghost and Tech.
You know, Odumodu is doing it more recently in a different way.
Yeah.
And like, I think like the thing is with rap and like hip hop, we've always identified with parts of the sound, but like we've always had sort of ways of perceiving our attempts at putting ourselves onto that sound. So like every single time we try and put ourselves onto something, some people might like it, other people might like it, might not like it, but like there's never a big enough general consensus of like, okay, this we enjoy completely. And you only find that in some certain like niche pockets, which is why I'd call Show Them Camp out, you know, or Odumodu, and like you have other people who are also like rapping, but like proper like hardcore, and like the crowd and the audience itself is actually coming out of the woodwork. Like Psycho YP fans are not hiding themselves anymore.
Yeah, Psycho
in different ways. Like
base,
it's coming out in different pockets, and like the more everybody else is just sort of like being very intentional about their process and just sort of doing their thing, you know, it becomes a louder thing than just like individual names.
Apart from Odumodu being signed, I think also, what do you think? What is making the record labels not sign more rappers? Like, why does Maven not have like 2-3 rappers? Why does Olamide just? I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just asking, like,
Right.
why are they not seeing rap as a gold mine?
Honestly, I can't tell you. I really feel like everybody has to make like both conscious business and artistic decisions, and like it sucks that the art often suffers because maybe it's a case of like, you know, we don't know how far exactly the success of this one particular like artist that we're able to do would be able to like carry along all the needs of, because we would need to multiply it. We can't just try and do like one more for some reason. Like there's always the need to try and like multiply that effect on some level. So it means that you're going to invest in like more than one, and then all of a sudden you're like watering down your like, you know, so it just feels like they see the tree sort of trickling down, and then it doesn't feel like a proper investment. But maybe I think a huge part of like the past used to be like proper A&Ring was like a big part of, you know, things. So like there are artists who are just sort of, you can see the diamond, but like you're just not like willing to. You're like, nah, you need to go and do this and this and this, and like that's cool, but like good luck trying to like, you know, do that on whatever dime you're making from wherever it is that you're trying to function at. For like a lot of people who are trying to make it in this particular field. So it's, you know, it really is a case of like, if you want to give back, if you want to like grow the industry, if you want to actually do it, you would go back and you would probably take in more time to maybe develop who you really believe in. And that might pay you back in a lot of ways. I think like the Maven camp is doing it in like a different genre space altogether, but like it's kind of clear that they're like cashing out in very unique ways, because, you know, Bayani came out of nowhere and like Jason Derulo said was good.
Jason Derulo, like it's crazy,
you know. So it's like you can see where there's like a valid pipeline for it, and if there's like an ecosystem and like a pipeline for it, then it just becomes easier. And like, which is why stuff like the hip hop event is important, right? That's not even like meant to be some kind of coded shout out. Like it's important in that same sense, because it does provide in the battle rap sense at least, because like it does provide like a platform for that thing to be showcased on a level that feels like engaging, in a way that like sports feels engaging, or in the ways that like, you know, like when you're listening to a song that you really enjoy, it feels engaging, like that kind of sense. So like, yeah.
Wait, speaking of battle rap, bro, like why don't you want to battle, man? I need you in the ring, bro. I don't need you against battle rappers, but maybe against someone of your, maybe you versus Pedestrian. Pop-up battle.
Everybody wants to see me.
That event is going to be crazy, bro. I'm going to look for funds for that shit if you're willing to do it.
Nah, it's like,
let's do it for the culture, man.
No, fuck this.
Fuck the culture. Fuck the culture.
I ain't say shit.
I'm just joking though. No, like but it doesn't have to be toxic. It can be music.
No. The truth is like, I'm just not interested in it.
I know like, you're not interested.
It feels
the culture is interested.
I know. Like, and the truth is like, sometimes, God, this is the problem. Like, sometimes I feel cheeky.
Okay.
And like, I just like, if I look at a picture of somebody's face hard enough, like, I'm just like crafting shit. Like, it's just
my
like,
God, you're a battle rapper then.
But like, it's also a thing where it's like, I don't have any need for that energy. It's cool. Like, I want niggas to, I want to be able to like, quote unquote, battle at a point where like, it just feels like fun. I want to just, I don't want to have any like particular stakes for it, but whatever. But like, I want to rap in that moment, like as if there are stakes. But like, I want to be able to do that off of the strength of what the music is. Like, I'd rather just sort of input most of the passion into
the music,
my music, and like into actually creating stuff that.
So have you ever like done a diss song for someone, like
a full like this?
Like,
I don't.
It doesn't have to be direct. Maybe like you just like. Man.
Have I ever? Do I throw shots?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Who have you thrown shots at?
I throw shots. It's like it's rap. We're gonna rap, right? Like, are we rapping or what? Like,
crazy.
But like that's the thing. Like if you, depending on what the, I don't always throw shots, but like obviously I have like my moments where I express in ways that like I know I've gotten my shit off, and like if you know it and you understood it, then you got it, and it hit you exactly where it was supposed to hit you. But like if you didn't hear it, you didn't hear it. And like, who am I? I'm like, what kind of platform am I on? But I expect people to be like picking up my shots in my music. Like nobody really gives a fuck. Like,
no, people gives a fuck, man.
Nah. On some real shit, like people ultimately it's like, oh, okay, he did well, but it's not going to become like a blog headline or some kind of bullshit. So like it's whatever the yans are. It makes it fun. It makes it like it makes it fun. It makes it engaging on that kind of level. And like I like when I hear. I mean, Dami DZ did like a thing where he did like a cool little flip. You know?
Are you not supposed to reply him?
No, I thought it was cute. Like
barely any punchline.
I thought it was cute. I thought it needed like.
So that was funny.
Yeah, no, it needed a couple.
I think you tweeted about it.
I think I might have said something. Yeah, it definitely needs some tightening though. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. But, like, I'll let you keep it. Like it's cool. Dami DZ.
Sorry, hold on. Any issue?
We good?
What happened? Was he recording?
Why did that boy leave?
What happened?
It's not recording.
Which one? This one or this one?
Two of them.
Ow!
They say your card is full.
This one, call.
Let me see how long this one recording.
Mo, that's crazy.
That's wild.
So we're talking about like the Dami DZ shit.
Oh yeah,
about it.
I mean,
and you need feeling like you need to like respond to anything. You don't need all that shit.
It was cute. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, it was
like Dami DZ. That shit was trash. Something like that.
Nah, it was. He did his thing. I mean, it obviously needs some work, but like that's where he's at with it, and that's great. I like where it's doing for him, and like
But I think I'll keep pushing you though. I'm trying to see if I can like convince you to do just one. I'm not saying be a bad rapper. Just one, even if it's just 2 minutes per round. We
did it like on a fun level, like
because you know what I think it's gonna bring a lot of crowd.
Yeah,
it's gonna bring a lot of energy. It's gonna make headlines. You feel me?
I don't know. Maybe one day I'll think about it. Like it's like if I ever do it. It's not like I don't want to do it. I always feel like the energy to bite niggas' heads off is always like a constant thing because we do rap. Like and like if your creativity doesn't know bounds, then shit can get very ugly for people. So like it's fun, but like it can get real. It can also get like personal, and it's just like it's all like type of weird. Like I like to do it when it's just like cool. So like I'd rather focus like the angst or like that sort of like energy into like writing bars like that just really take you to places or like really knock your heads off in like the right place. Just like place the energy in the right place as opposed to misplacing it. So
yeah, I really wish you could talk for hours, but. Yeah. My time is up here, man. Yeah. I'm so happy to have BLE, man. Like, shout out to BarelyAnyHook, man.
Yeah, thank you.
God bless you, bro. And we need you back on the hip hop event because the last time you killed that shit. So we're really gonna talk about it.
Can I do the one this month?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. We talked about it already.
I wanted to make it look like it was spontaneous.
No, you're on it already, man.
Yeah.
Close it out for me. Man. Subscribe, like, shout out to BLE. I'm putting his like social medias here. Yeah, I gotta follow him, man. Shout out to BLE, man. DAYGENIUS. You got any message for the niggas?
Yeah, watch out for the music. It's crazy. It's stupid. All right,
bye. We out.